Today's project is how to make this delightful, cheerful lemon, including its leaves and its stalk. I'm just going to place it here whilst I show you what you'll need. You're going to need a crochet hook. Today I'll be using my trusty 2.5 clover hook. You're also going to need a stitch marker, a yarn needle, 2 safety eyes and safety eye washers, a pair of scissors, and some toy stuffing so that we can stuff our lemon. Colors of yarn you're going to need are yellow, some green for the leaves, a little bit of brown for the stalk, a little bit of pink for its rosy cheeks, and a tiny bit of black so we can add that smiley face. This will be today's color palette. Let's kick off our project with our yellow yarn and make the body of our lemon. Start with making a slip knot and attaching it to our hook. Next, chain 2 stitches. In the second chain from our hook, let's place 6 single crochets. For the single crochets, you can either choose to yarn under or yarn over. I am yarning under for this project as I find my stitches are a little bit tighter and neater doing it this way. Once you've completed all 6 single crochets of the first round, we're going to pick up our stitch marker and mark the very last stitch that we created. This is so that we know where the end of the round is. If there's a hole forming in the center of your work, give your yarn end a little tug to close it. And then we can move on to round 2. For round 2, it's very straightforward. All we're going to do is single crochets into each of the 6 stitches of round 1. I will speed up the video a little bit and I'll meet you back at the end of round 2. Perfect. Let's return the stitch marker to the last stitch that we created, and if it's needed, give your yarn tail a little tug to close the hole in the center of your work. And we can now move on to round 3. Round 3 is a single crochet followed by an increase, and we're going to do that for the entirety of the round. At the end of round 3, you will have 9 stitches. Let's meet back at the end of this round and we'll continue with round 4. Now for round 4. For round 4, we're going to be placing an increase into each of the stitches of round 3. At the end of round 4, you will have 18 stitches. For round 5, we're wanting to do 5 single crochets, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then in the 6th stitch we want to place an increase, and we're going to do that for the entirety of the round. At the end of round 5, you'll have 21 stitches. Great, now we can move on to round 6. Round 6 is straightforward. We're just going to do single crochets all of the way around. In round 7, we're going to continue to increase. And to do that, we're going to do 6 single crochets followed by an increase. And we'll do that for the whole round. At the end of round 7, we're going to have 24 stitches. For round 8, you're going to do 7 single crochets followed by an increase. And we're going to do that for the entirety of the round. At the end of round 8, you'll have 27 stitches. Wonderful, we're making good progress. For round 9, we're going to do 8 single crochets followed by an increase. Again, we'll do this for the entirety of the round, and at the end of round 9, you'll have 30 stitches. For rounds 10 and 11, we're just going to be doing single crochets. So for the next 2 rounds, just concentrate on single crochets, and then let's meet back at the end of round 11. Wonderful, we've made it to round 12 and this is going to be our last increasing round. Round 12, we're going to do 9 single crochets followed by an increase, and we'll do that for the entire round. At the end of round 12, you'll have 33 stitches. For rounds 13 and 14, we're just going to be doing single crochets again. So for the next 2 rounds, just concentrate on single crochets, and then let's meet back at the end of round 14. Excellent! Now for round 15. For round 15, we're going to start decreasing. And to do that, we'll start with 9 single crochets, followed by an invisible decrease using the next 2 stitches. We're going to do that for the entirety of the round, and at the end of round 15, you'll be left with 30 stitches. Let me get through the first 9 single crochets and then show you how to do an invisible decrease. An invisible decrease is very straightforward. We're going to use the next 2 stitches and grab the front loops only. So place your hook and push it through the next 2 stitches, grabbing the front loops only, and then create your stitch as you would normally. And that's all there is to it. So continue this round with 9 single crochets followed by an invisible decrease for the rest of the round. Rounds 16 and 17 are just single crochets into each of the 30 stitches of round 15. Let's meet back at the end of round 17. Now for round 18, and for this round we will do 8 single crochets followed by an invisible decrease, and we'll do this for the entire round. At the end of round 18 you'll have 27 stitches. Round 19, and we're going to continue decreasing, and we're going to do 7 single crochets followed by an invisible decrease into the next 2 stitches. Again, we'll do this for the entire round, and at the end of round 19 you'll have 24 stitches. Now round 20, and for round 20 we will do 6 single crochets followed by an invisible decrease. Once again we'll do this for the entire round, and at the end of round 20 you'll be left with 21 stitches. We've now made it to round 21, and for this round we're just going to do single crochets. Let's meet back at the end of this round as I would like to show you how to make the face. Perfect. With round 21 complete, let's secure our work and pause for a moment. Grab your safety eyes, your black yarn and pink yarn, and I will show you how to add a face to your lemon. Let's start with adding the eyes to our lemon. You'll need 2 safety eyes and 2 safety eye washers. With the washers, there's a curved side and a flat side. When we're installing the safety eyes, we want this flat side to be facing our yarn. Grab our first safety eye, and we're going to place this between rounds 10 and 11, just like this. So that it's a little bit easier to attach the washer, I turn my project inside out and grab my washer. As I said before, we want the flat side to be facing our work. So push the washer on until it clicks, and that should be our safety eye secure. Grab your second safety eye, and we're going to be placing this between rounds 17 and 18. As before, I turn my work inside out so I can see the back of the safety eye. I place my washer on and push down until it clicks. Perfect. That's both the eyes attached. Now let's move on to adding a smiley mouth to our work. Attach your black yarn to your yarn needle. When we're sewing on the mouth, we're going to be working from the inside of our project to the outside, but first we need to find out where to start. Find the inside corner of the eye and go down 2 stitches. Push your needle through from the inside of your work and pull the yarn. Leave a little tail as we're going to use that to secure the smile at the end of this. Let's do the same on the other side. Find the corner of the eye and go down 2 stitches. Perfect. He looks a little bit bemused at the moment, but now let's turn that bemusement into a smile. Find the center point of the mouth and go down another couple of stitches and push your needle through. To make the smile, we're going to push our needle up through the mouth and grab it. And then we're going to push our needle back through the hole we just came out of to secure it into a smiley face. Perfect! Just like that, we now have the start of a smiley lemon. Now we want to secure this yarn by tying a knot using the yarn tails. Now we can add some rosy cheeks. Now this step is totally optional, but if you want to do it, attach your pink yarn to your yarn needle. To find the starting point, we're going to use the outer edge of the eye and come down 1 stitch. We're going to work from the inside out again, so push your needle all the way through and pull your yarn, again leaving a yarn tail so that we can secure the cheeks once we're finished making them. And at this point, we want to go up 2 rounds. The rosy cheeks are just a straight line, so pull your needle through, and then we're going to repeat that step again, going through exactly the same holes as we've just used in order to give the cheeks a little bit more emphasis. Now we're going to repeat this on the other side, again using the outer eye and going down 1 stitch. Pull your needle all the way through and then go across 2 rounds. Perfect. Let's repeat that again using exactly the same holes as we've just used. And now we've created the rosy cheeks for our lemon. To finish off, use the yarn ends and tie a knot in them in order to secure them. With the face complete, we can now start stuffing our lemon. Grab your toy stuffing, and I like to tear it up so it's not clumpy inside my amigurumi. Start stuffing your lemon, and let's meet back once you've adequately stuffed it, noting that we'll have one more opportunity to continue stuffing just before we get to the end of the project. With both the face and the stuffing complete, we can now move on with our lemon. Let's remove the stitch marker and replace it into the very last stitch of the last round that we created. Attach your hook back onto your work and we can move on with round 22. For round 22, we'll be doing 5 single crochets followed by an invisible decrease, and we'll do this for the entire round. At the end of round 22, you'll be left with 18 stitches. Round 23 is next, and for this we're going to do invisible decreases into each of the stitches of the last round. At the end of round 23, you'll be left with 9 stitches. Let's meet back at the end of this round and secure our work, as I think this will be our very last opportunity to stuff the lemon before the gap gets too small. Excellent. Secure your work and grab your toy stuffing, and let's stuff the rest of the lemon whilst we have the opportunity to do so. Let's meet back once you have done that. Let's begin round 24. Remove your stitch marker and place it in the very last stitch that we just created. We can attach our work back onto our hook, and you'll see here that I'm actually playing yarn chicken just now. So for round 24, we're going to do a single crochet followed by an invisible decrease. And at the end of this round, you'll be left with 6 stitches. When you get to the very final invisible decrease of this round, pause for a moment as we're going to do a colour change and I would like to talk you through it. Perfect, we're now on to the very final invisible decrease of this round. So grab the front loops of the next 2 stitches and yarn over or under, whatever you're doing, and pull your working yarn through. You'll have 2 loops on your hook. Place your work down and grab your brown yarn as we're going to do the colour change. Place your brown yarn over your hook and pull it through the 2 stitches that were on your hook in order to perform the colour change. Let's now start round 25. For round 25 and 26, we're just going to do single crochets all of the way around. To secure my yarn tails, what I do is I push my hook through the first stitch and place the yarn tails over my hook loosely. And then I create my stitch as if I normally would with my working yarn. That just secures them into place so that they don't become loose later on. I do this for the first 2 stitches and then I tuck them away. Continue round 25 and 26 with single crochets and let's meet back at the end of round 26. That's us, we've completed our lemon and all that's left to do is cut the yarn. We want to leave a bit of a tail as we still need to close up our work and I'll show you how to do that. Pull your yarn all the way through the very final stitch that you've just created and we're going to use that to sew up the gap that's left. With the other 2 yarn tails, as we've already secured it into our work, you'll want to stuff that back into your lemon. For ease, I've just grabbed a pair of scissors to do that. Continue to tuck in those 2 yarn ends and let's meet back and we'll close up our work. To close your work, attach the brown yarn to your needle. And what we're going to do is use the last 6 stitches of the final round and grab the front loops only of each of the stitches. As we do this, you'll start to notice that the gap is slowly closing. Once you've gone round all the stitches to close your work, what I like to do is pass my needle through the centre of my work just to give it that extra bit of tightening. Now I'm in a position to weave in the ends. Let's now create the leaves of our lemon. Grab your green yarn and create a slip knot. Attach your hook to the yarn and now make 7 chain stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. In the second chain from the hook, we're going to place a single crochet. In the next chain along from that, we're going to do a half double crochet. So yarn over and push your hook through the chain, yarn over and pull your yarn through. You'll have 3 chains on your hook. Yarn over and pull that yarn through all 3 chains. In the next 2 chains, we're going to do a double crochet. So yarn over and push your hook through the first of the chains. Yarn over and pull through till you've got 3 loops on your hook. Yarn over and pull through the first 2 loops. Yarn over once again and pull through the next 2 loops. And we're going to repeat this. Yarn over and push your hook through the next chain, yarn over and pull through until you've got 3 loops, yarn over, pull through the first 2 loops, yarn over and pull through the second 2 loops. In the final 2 chains on this side, we're going to do a treble crochet. So yarn over twice and push your hook through the first of those chains, yarn over and pull your working yarn through. You've now got 4 loops on your hook. Yarn over and pull that through the first 2 loops, yarn over again and pull through the next 2 loops, yarn over one final time and pull the yarn through the final 2 loops. Let's repeat that on the very final chain on this side. Yarn over twice and push your hook through the final chain. Yarn over and pull that working yarn through. Again, you'll have 4 loops on your hook. Yarn over and pull through the first 2 loops, yarn over and pull through the second 2 loops, and yarn over one final time and pull through the last 2 loops. Excellent! The leaf is starting to take shape, and we can now start working up the other side of the chain. First 2 chains on the other side, we're going to start with a treble crochet. So yarn over your hook twice and then push your hook through the very first chain on the other side. Continue to make your treble crochet. In the next chain, we're going to do another treble crochet. In the next 2 chains, we're going to do a double crochet. In the second last chain of this side, we're going to do a half double crochet. Then in the very final chain, we're going to do a single crochet. Wonderful, that's the leaf complete. We're now ready to cut our yarn and leave enough of a tail for us to be able to sew the leaf onto our lemon. Pull your working yarn through the last stitch you created in order to secure your work. And all that's left to do is to weave this yarn all the way through to the other side of your leaf in order for us to be able to sew it to our lemon. We need 2 leaves, so please rewind this chapter and repeat and create your second leaf. The final part of this project is to sew on the leaves. I've already gone ahead and sewn on the first leaf. I've attached it to the bottom of the stem, and we're going to place the other leaf at the opposite side of that. Attach your yarn to your yarn needle, and as I said before, you will have used your yarn needle to weave the yarn all the way through to the other end of the leaf, because this is the pointy end and this is the curved end, and the curved end is the part that gets attached to the stem. You'll see that I am just using this area here to sew and attach the leaf. Go ahead and attach both the leaves to either side of the stem, and once you finish sewing, you'll want to weave in the ends of the yarn. Let's meet back once you've finished sewing on the leaves. And that's it, we've finished making our bright and cheery lemon. He will join the rest of his friends here, and I hope you really enjoyed this project. I'll see you soon for my next tutorial.